At just $260, this is the Fosi Audio S3, the cheapest balanced streamer on the market right now. But after 90 days of real-world testing, let's see how it actually performs, and whether the S3 is worth your hard-earned cash. Welcome back, I'm Colin. Back in March, the team over at Fosi Audio sent me a sample of their new S3 balanced network streamer. Since then, it's been sitting at the heart of my daily home audio setup. Instead of throwing together a quick first impressions video, I wanted to wait as the software back then was relatively new. I also wanted to give a longer-term review to see if there are any problems or issues that I will potentially run into on the S3. Now 90 days have passed. Let me tell you my experience with the S3. To understand my experience, you need to know my specific usage scenario. Before the S3 arrived, I was using the Fosi ZD3 DAC connecting to my TV using HDMI. I've completely replaced the ZD3 with the S3 streamer. Here is how it's hooked up. The S3 takes the audio signal from my TV via HDMI ARC. It then connects directly to my active speaker setup, the Genelec 8010A monitors paired with the 7040A subwoofer, using its balanced XLR outputs. Because the active monitors don't have a master volume control, the S3 handles all the preamp and volume duties. One very simple but useful feature in the S3 is the volume limiter. I set it to avoid accidentally driving my speakers at max volume. And to keep things solid, it's been connected to the internet via a physical LAN cable for most of the last 3 months. Let's take a quick look at the Fosi S3 hardware first. The S3 features a gray plastic top shell, which is used instead of aluminum to allow the internal Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antennas to work cleanly. On the front, we have an orange knob and an on-off button, a physical mode selector button, and 4 indicator lights to let you know at a glance which input source is currently active. On the back for outputs, we have balanced XLRs, unbalanced RCAs, a subwoofer out, an optical out if you want to route digital audio to an external DAC. For inputs, you get a set of analog RCAs to connect to an analog source like a turntable. For digital inputs, we have HDMI ARC in and optical in for you to connect to your TV. Lastly, there's a 12-volt DC power port and a 12-volt trigger out to automatically power on other connected gear, like a Fosi ZA3 amplifier. On the bottom of the S3, there's a vented metal chassis with 4 rubber feet. By the way, the S3 doesn't get hot at all when in use. And of course, it comes with a physical remote. I didn't actually use the remote much since my S3 sits mostly away in a shelf, and I found myself using the mobile app to control it almost all of the time when streaming. When it's connected to the TV, you can use the TV remote to control the volume in the S3. So I didn't really need the remote, but it's good to have it included. Let's talk about the streaming experience. For music, I rely heavily on Tidal Connect and AirPlay too, and the source switching behavior here is seamless. Even if the S3 is currently in HDMI input mode because the TV is on, the second I cast a song from my phone via Tidal Connect or AirPlay, it seamlessly switches over to the stream. There's no manual input toggling required, which feels really nice. As for the companion Fosi app on iOS, it has been super snappy from the very beginning. Now to be fair, it's still relatively basic. It doesn't have a massive suite of features like some of the more mature apps from established streaming competitors, but everything currently in the app actually works. During my 3 months, Fosi has pushed out about 2 over-the-air updates. They happen quietly in the background, so you might not even notice them instantly, but the improvements are noticeable. For instance, they recently added support for Qbus Connect and upgraded the EQ from a basic 5-band to a 10-band equalizer. Best of all, applying the EQ is completely instantaneous. There is zero lag or audible delay when you toggle it on or tweak the bands. Frankly, I have nothing to complain about with this app. It is a bit basic, but it just works. I'm excited to see what else they add to it. Let's talk about sound quality, because this is where I was genuinely shocked. In the past, when I wanted to stream Tidal, I would run the Tidal app directly on my smart TV, which sent the digital audio signal over HDMI to the ZD3 DAC. With the S3, I can stream directly to the unit using Tidal Connect, bypassing the TV altogether. Looking at the hardware specs and the DAC chips, with the ZD3 using an ESS DAC and the S3 using an AKM DAC, you wouldn't think there would be a massive sonic difference. But replacing the TV stream with the S3 resulted in a massive leap in sonic performance. The first thing I noticed was a much blacker background, and the improvement in clarity was really noticeable. On top of that, the soundstage opened up, it became wider, more precise, and the imaging gained a lot more three-dimensional depth. Why such a big difference? I don't really know. It could be interference from the TV's processing unit, or perhaps Android TV sample rate conversion messing with the audio stream. But if you are currently using a smart TV to stream your music, I am confident you will hear a significant upgrade if you switch to a dedicated streamer like the S3. To me, a streamer can influence the sound quality, and it is definitely better than streaming on a smart TV. Where the Fosi S3 lags behind the competition isn't the physical hardware, it's the advanced software features. The core features Fosi has implemented so far work beautifully and don't feel glitchy, but there is still room to grow. Personally, I would love to see room correction software built into the S3. That would be an absolute game changer for a lot of users. If automated room correction is too complex for now, even just adding a parametric EQ first would allow advanced users to manually input their own room correction filters. I'd also love to see DSP controls for the subwoofer output, giving us the ability to set a high-pass filter and fine-tune phase alignment or delay for a connected sub. These additions would make the S3 incredibly competitive. Over the last 90 days of daily usage, I've had almost no technical issues, with one early exception. Right after I received the unit, I noticed a frequent popping sound sent to my speakers when using HDMI when my TV's audio toggles on and off. Luckily, it didn't cause any damage. Following the recent firmware updates, that popping issue has completely disappeared. I haven't heard a single pop in weeks. So, is the Fosi S3 ready yet? The physical hardware is complete and well designed, while the software is actively evolving. If you are an advanced user who needs to dive into the deep menus, configure complex PEQ filters, or adjust sub delays right out of the box, you might want to give the software a bit more time to mature. But if you just want a reliable, snappy network streamer to connect directly to your active speakers or amplifier, handle your TV's HDMI ARC input, the S3 does it incredibly well. At this price, the fact that this is the cheapest balanced streamer on the market makes it a very solid choice. I think the Fosi S3 is mature enough to purchase as a dedicated streamer today. And if you are an Apple user, having native AirPlay 2 support at this price point makes it an even more compelling option. Let me know in the comments below. Do you stream music through your smart TV, or do you have a dedicated streamer? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.